And welcome back into the Big Hit, ladies and gentlemen. We are here on the other side of the studio, and it's time to talk every sport, a six-pack of questions. This is the rapid fire. Guys, how it works is you have 25 seconds to answer each question, and if you don't make it in time, you're going to hear this sound, and that means time is up. So we are Kelsey Howe. Sarah, we'll start with you in the National Football League, where there have been a lot of injuries and suspensions through the first 3 weeks. Which team's been the most impacted, and why do you say so?
I'm definitely going to have to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers. They just lost 3 of their defensive players the last game to the Carolina Panthers. For example, they lost Ike Taylor, who has a broken arm, Jarvis Jones, wrist, I believe, and then Ryan Shazier, who had a sprained MCL. So they're in deep trouble. I think it's going to be really their offense is going to be very impacted. You know, their wide receivers, Lance Moore and Martavis Bryant hurt.
I say RG3 from the Redskins just because it forces Kirk Cousins to start playing now, and you finally get to see him in action. And it also shows that he has a lot of health concerns. So I think him getting hurt again this year is probably the most impactful player.
Yeah, absolutely. And you see the time here in the left-hand corner of the screen there. The clock is ticking, so you better get your answers in quick. Let's move to the world of college football here. 4 weeks in, a lot of good performances. Who do you guys have as your Heisman front-runner through the first 4 weeks of the year?
Josh, I'm going to have to go with Marcus Mariota, the quarterback for Oregon. You know, they're 3-0 right now. He has 13 touchdowns this year so far, not to mention that last year, their season, he had 31 touchdowns, and before that, he had 32 touchdowns. So I am really excited to see what he has to do this season.
Well, since Sarah took Marcus Mariota, I'm going to say Amari Cooper, just because right now he's having the best year so far of his 3 years of being at Alabama. And last game he had 10 receptions for 201 yards. He's only 1 reception away from, I think, breaking like the Alabama record for a single game. So I think Amari Cooper is on a good Heisman watch.
Yeah, nice work, guys. And let's go ahead and move to the senior circuit of Major League Baseball, where the season's coming to a close and the playoff races continue to get tighter. Which team fighting for a wild card spot could you guys see winning the World Series?
I'm definitely going to have to go with the Pirates. They've been clicking. 14 wins and 3 losses in the last 17 games against the Cubs, the Red Sox, and the Brewers. Not to mention their pitching staff is doing excellent. So I'm definitely hopeful to see the Pirates take everything.
And I'm going to go with the Oakland A's. They kind of fell off this year, but right now they're second in the AL and ERA, and they're top 5 in the league in the ERA. So pitching wins championships. So I'm going to go with the Oakland A's if they get to the playoffs.
Yeah, now we're going to take the ice here and move to the National Hockey League training camps. Preseason hockey has started, guys. Which team do you have the highest expectations for this season?
I'm going to have to go with the Tampa Bay Lightning. I think Steven Stamkos is going to be a great player for them. He might actually be the best NHL player besides Crosby. He might actually be able to lead them to championships, I think. He's had 22 goals and 15 assists in the last 37 games, so I have high expectations for him.
I would say Los Angeles Kings just because they're the repeating champions and they won 2 in the last 3 years. And they're returning a lot of their talent, Jonathan Quick, Justin Williams. So I think the Kings could repeat this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's go ahead and move on to the hardwood here with the NBA. A great rookie draft class, of course, concluded the 2014 draft. Which rookie do you have the highest expectations for this season?
I would have to go with Andrew Wiggins for the Timberwolves. He was last drafted. He was actually traded from the Cavaliers, but he sounds like he's a big talk. I have a lot of high expectations for him. I think it's going to be I'm excited to see how he's going to do.
And I have Jabari Parker, second pick in the draft. He actually wants to stay with Milwaukee, and it's the last star player they had since Lou Alcindor, which is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I have really high expectations from him. I think he has a good chance to be one of the best rookies in the draft.
Yeah, and finally closing it out on the hardwood this time at the college basketball level. Which team do you think will finish the regular season as the #1 team in the nation?
I'm going to have to go with Duke, actually, surprisingly. I think that Jaleel Okafor is going to be a great player for them. I think it's interesting seeing how they do with him. 6'10" from Chicago. He has the best post skills ever to the basket on the high school level. He's a solid rebounder, and he's a soft touch to the basket. So I'm actually really interested to see how well he's going to do this year with them.
All right, I'm going to say Kentucky. They have the most talent in college basketball right now. 9 McDonald's All-American, and they're an older team this year, so they have a better chance this year. They got to the championship last year with basically all freshmen. Now they have some sophomores, the Harrison twins. So I see Kentucky making a run.
Yeah, great job, guys. We just went through pretty much every sport here in a very short amount of time. Good job. That's going to do it for the Rapid Fire, and that's going to do it for the big hit here today. For Director Danielle Everly, producers Dan Wallace and Dimitri George, want to remind you to tune in IUP Mercyhurst at 4 on the Crimson Hawk Sports Network. That'll do it. Until next time, we bid you a very pleasant good night.